on Tea Time, and it's Jason Lee.
Woo!
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Not to
Welcome
you. Welcome back to them.
You've been here before.
Many of you may know him from Love and Hip Hop, his podcast. The Impact Awards aired the other day.
And you are the founder, chief.
I am the founder, Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards. So I was on VH1 on Love and Hip Hop, and then I was on MTV Wild 'N Out, and I'd been on there for years and wanted to go to the VMAs, and they said no. As black folks, we got to stop waiting for somebody to give us something. Just go create it. So I said, no more going to award shows. I'll just create my own. But instead of it being competitive in nature, best dress, best movie, best song, I want it to just be an honors where we honor people for their contribution to the culture. And so we broke it down by category, and that was that.
So smart. Such a good show.
This year was different because I feel like we're in a place right now with cancel culture where everybody's getting canceled, and everything is negative and doom and gloom. And me as a culture critic, sometimes I participate in that because I have big opinions, and people say, well, you're part of the problem. Like, yeah, but you can't get enough of it. So
You are running a campaign for city council.
Yes.
How is that going?
I'm beating her
Yeah.
brutally. No, it's great because to be able to run the streets of Stockton, now go back and run the city of Stockton.
Ooh.
I mean,
That's a campaign
That's full
slogan.
circle.
my campaign manager, you saw him 7 years old, Malcolm Bell. He's a star back home. He's
was so
he's speaking
cute.
at dinners with Rihanna and standing on stages with the Raven-Symones of the Cardi B's of the world. But you know what it's really doing is it's showing him that anything he wants to be, he can be, and showing other people that like young people's voices matter. I have a youth-focused agenda, and I'm literally basing every policy idea I have around the future of young people.
So we want to do something a little fun with you.
Sure.
Because we have Jason Lee on Tea Time, so we want to spill some tea with Jason
Jason
Lee.
Lee.
Oh my gosh. So
We
we're
gotta-
going to do
like
a
a
little
little
bit of a rapid fire.
Okay,
You down?
shoot.
Okay. I'm giving you $1 million towards your campaign.
Yeah.
Where are you going shopping with it first?
She just tried to get me set up on an indictment.
I didn't.
Where
It
you
was-
gonna go shopping with $1 million? Where did it come from? Halliburton? Shit, the NRA?
It came from us.
Oh, if it came from you, you've exceeded my campaign contribution. So now we're all in trouble.
Well,
Okay,
but
where are you going to spend the $1 million? How
If
do you
I had
spend
$1 million, I would spend $9.99 getting my opponent a new job because she's not good at this one. I mean, she's treated this whole role like a hobby. You have like kids dying in the community, no healthy grocery stores, smoke shops, liquor stores surrounding schools. You have people dying. This guy literally got murdered about 3 weeks ago. My friend's son, shout out to Shretha Hayes. And then they went and shot up her house and shot our friends who we grew up with 2 days later. And the city's silent on it. So like $1 million, I would probably put towards banning those smoke shops and liquor stores and like finding ways of inviting new business to the city to put healthy grocery stores in this food desert community. That
So you don't want Dave Chappelle to come through and be like, liquor store, drugstore. You don't want that anymore.
I would, if Dave Chappelle was to come to Stockton, I want him to go and say, what's wrong with you niggas? You know, like I would like Dave Chappelle to be Dave Chappelle. And the thing that's making me win back home, I think, is that this guy said to me, he said, when you run, please don't run as a politician. Because, like, we are exhausted. Just be you. Like, be you, flaws and all, because we all have flaws, you know, and just be you and be very clear about what you stand for. And I think that's relating to people.
Megan the Stallion or Megan the Markle?
Who's Megan the Stallion? Meg, you know I ain't dealing with you.
OT, tell us why.
Well, first of all, she doesn't return my calls anymore, which is fine. And everybody watching this is going to go, oh my God, here he goes trashing Megan. I am not. But I love Meghan Markle more.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you love Meghan Markle more?
This is super controversial.
I am so infatuated with that love story. I'm infatuated with how she just shook the monarchy up, and she was probably walking by them hoes like, bitch. She knew what the hell she was getting into.
She did, and she was prepared.
She had to be.
She was, she was a paralegal for a while. She knew what to do.
On Suits. Kamala or
Kamala.
It's Kamala.
There it is.
Yeah.
See, we told you.
Get the names right. Can I just say that I'm so fed up with people disrespecting Kamala? I mean, I understand the different layers of it, right? She's a woman, so there's that. She's a black woman, I understand that. She's a DA, and we have our thing in our culture with the police and all that. She's created new energy in this whole election process where y'all thought y'all were just going to shit on the Democrats because Joe Biden didn't know where he was half the time, but now y'all don't let her out the cage that the administration put her in, and now you're having to deal with her. But I love Kamala. I'm happy that every girl who looks like her gets to see her. I'm happy that we now have somebody that can go against this narcissistic, mean-spirited,
misogynistic
troglodyte of an orange pill that we have to look at every day.
Exactly.
And so I like that energy. The criticism that I've given to Kamala that I'll say now, although on one side, I'm happy that she's running. I think she's brilliant. She's smart. She's beautiful. She's all that. My criticism is she raised $300 million in the last 2 weeks and has spent nothing with Black-owned media. So you can't talk about DEI. You can't talk about inclusion and diversity when you're not even making sure that your campaign is diverse and how you spend that money, because that's how you keep Black-owned media, Black narratives, Black voice, Black storytellers alive. So there's that.
But we could sit here all day talking about this, but we have more rapid fire, and this is a really
Sorry.
The longest rapid fire.
Yeah, it is.
And I love it.
This is a really important rapid fire
Okay.
question. You're doing a reboot of Annie. Are you casting Northwest or Blue Ivy?
I would cast Northwest. Yeah.
Jason.
Blue Ivy gets everything. She gets everything because of her mom and dad. By the way,
Really? And Northwest doesn't?
no, Northwest doesn't even get really. Well, she's on
Did you see her at the
TikTok.
Hollywood Bowl?
Did you see her at the Hollywood Bowl?
First of all, her mother has. Keep this in. Her mother has no talent. Think about it. Like I love Kim. You know I love you.
Her mother has business sense.
None of the Kardashians have talent. They say being themselves is talent. Well, it's not talent. But anyway, so I love the fact that North is kind of giving you like, she ain't got all the talent, but she got her daddy genes in her where she don't care. And so she shows up like, I'm going to give you my talent that I got, and I don't care if y'all don't like it. I like that.
You like that?
I love her. Yeah. I mean,
Should be
Blue
in
would kill it in
Yeah.
terms of acting, but like, I want the train wreck.
How are you guys
You know,
saying-
first of all, Mason, Courtney's son, Mason and Penelope going to be in the front row like this.
They
Because
were
all they do is flip
at
off
the Hollywood
cameras.
Bowl.
But I grew up in an industry where you weren't really allowed to talk about kids until they turned 18. And that is now out of the window.
Yeah.
Now everyone is up for grabs. And we talk about mental health. We talk about body image. We talk about safety and all of that and community. I'm also coming from a place of, I was in rehearsals from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the morning at 5.
You were in those classes to become trained and skilled, not famous. They live in a world where it's a boot camp of fame. And fame, as we know, is not only an addiction, but it is a disease. And those people suffer from it. They all have the disease. And unfortunately, they're passing it down generation by generation, which is why you have little kids flipping people off and doing all kinds of other shit that we would have got our ass kicked for.
Immediately.
And again, it's kind of sad because, like, to know Kim privately, she's beautiful without makeup. She's a nice, smart woman.
She's so beautiful.
The fact that she's using her platform
She's a great heart.
Yeah. But then it comes with all that other shit, too.
The last rapid fire question is natural or a little bit of neurotoxin?
I definitely have a GED. I don't know what the fuck that is. No,
Period.
No, what is neurotoxin?
It's Botox.
Oh, shit, I got it right now.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
real name.
neurotoxin.
Baby, neurotoxin.
Spelled all the way across the base.
Neurotoxicity. That's what's going on. Neurotoxin, fillers, threading. I do. Oh, yeah.
You did threading?
Like 3 times. I'm turning 47 on Friday.
Yes.
So, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, so give us
47. You
look,
don't have
well,
a
he's black.
line.
He's black.
My mama white, though.
I know, but he has
That's okay.
white in him.
She's like, I have hope.
I'm like, yeah.
No, 47. Yes, I'll be 47 on Friday.
Put
Yes.
your hand in this pot.
Okay.
At tea time, what we do is we actually pull something out of the pot
Okay.
and talk about it.
All right, cool.
Tell us what our topic is.
Our topic today, happiness.
Aw,
That's
let's
a good
talk about
topic.
happiness.
Happiness.
Your outfit makes me happy.
Thank you. I love color.
What makes you happy?
Well, I think it's a choice. These days, what makes me happy, being left the fuck alone.
Preach!
Like, I am at an age and a place in my life now where being at home with my dogs and nobody else in my home is peace, and I'm happy. Jason Lee, the person online, don't give a fuck. He says what he thinks at the time. It's an evolving experience. Those things change. Sometimes it's hurtful, I guess, depending on where you sit, but it's honest, and sometimes it's blunt, whatever. I'm not perfect, so when people do it to me, I literally don't care. When people attack me or say whatever online, I just kind of look at it and laugh and like, whatever, go to lunch.
I heard something that there were 3 P's of happiness, and it was peace, purpose, and pussy.
Well, you had me at the peace and purpose.
So we got the 2 for him. So it wasn't pussy, but it was
Penis? No, it's fine.
Yeah, it was. There you go. It's
Exactly.
interchangeable for
Yeah,
whatever you need.
yeah.
But
Privates.
I think that peace does bring happiness,
Yeah.
and if you know what your peace is, where you find your peace, you will have happiness.
You know what's interesting? The other day, I threw this community event for National Night Out. About 700 kids and their families came out in the park. And I had these slides on, and I took the slides off when the band was playing, and I stepped on the grass. I had a whole moment where I had forgotten what grass felt like. because I have been working so much and moving so much and flying around and travel this and that I had not had my feet planted in the grass. So I walked around for the rest of the day in the grass, and it just felt good.
Did you walk around a lot as a young boy?
Oh, yeah. My mother, she was on drugs, so she was in and out a lot. And I wrote about this in my book. I have a book called God Must Have Forgotten About Me. I talked about how when she used to be out and, in the streets, I was, at the time, 6. My sister was 3. And I used to have a key. And I, 6, 7 years old, I was in and out the house with my own key. Imagine that.
Wow.
These kids now, y'all aren't made like what we were made for.
They don't even have a key. There's a lockbox.
No, they just have.
It's just a ting ting ting. Alexa, open the door.
How did you maintain or rediscover your own happiness during those things?
What I learned a lot along the way that's guided me in what I do and how I do, in honoring Jonathan Majors, Hollywood Reporter put online, everybody, oh my God, he's honoring domestic violence. It's like, well, Rihanna just hosted a dinner for me 2 months before. So how would I be in that space with somebody who I love so much and who loves me, have 5 sisters, and then be honoring domestic violence? What I was doing was elevating the conversation of redemption. And when do we get that in today's world of cancel culture? When are we allowed to forgive people? And to your point, what I learned through my mother's illness, watching her die, literally sitting there as she was dying and asking me to forgive her, because when she was hurtful to us, I was really mean to her for a lot of years. It wasn't to that hospital bed that I was like, yo, like, she literally deserves the peace that she's literally hanging on to life for. She needs it. Once I gave it to her, she died the next day.
Wow.
So I learned in that the power of forgiveness, the power of what forgiveness gave to me. And then I learned redemption, like all those years that we went through such a tumultuous relationship. She had showed me my whole childhood life that she, with her addiction, she was doing the best that she could. But to me, it wasn't enough for me. So I learned that it may not be enough for you or for me, but it's a person saying, this is all I'm able to do. And if you love a person, you kind of got to go, even though it's not enough for me, or even it's not as much as I would do, I love you enough to understand that that's all you can do, and I love you.
Capacity.
Okay,
Yes.
So beautiful, fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that takes a certain kind of person, though, because not everybody can go what you go through and not repeat the cycle.
That's interesting, because in some ways I did, though.
Tell.
So I used to condemn my mother for being on crack and heroin and cocaine. I will never be that. But I drank alcohol.
Okay.
I drank lots of alcohol.
Okay.
And then I was making bad decisions. And although I was functional, I can still get up and go to work on time, still do everything, hit all my goals, do all this. But I was just partying like a rock star for 20 years, And then one day I woke up, I was like, damn, like in many ways I've become her, just in a way that I've given myself permission to find it acceptable. Like, oh, it's just alcohol, it's not a drug. So I learned those behaviors. That's why I'm sober right now. A year on my birthday. Thank you. My therapist says you should be dead, on drugs, or in prison.
Yeah.
Based on what you've been through. And I really feel like your mind has to be the thing that you invest in, really building up the endurance to go through it, and then like the strength to process it all, but also compartmentalize it to where it doesn't cripple you. And I have no choice. My brother, the day he died, was my going away party. I was moving to LA. I had built this relationship with Queen Latifah. I was going to move to LA and go work for her. And I had a going away party, and he gets murdered at the party. And I remember the last thing he said was, I love you. And we had never told each other, because we were just 2 guys, I love you. We just never said that. He said that to me and then dies. And I realized at that point that like life is this short and so unpredictable, especially in today's times, that like, I'm not going to hang on to shit. I just have to like, I have to have faith that I can get through it. So faith over fear, and just stay focused and just keep pushing. And I feel like a lot of people that don't find a way out of their dark spaces, they've just given up hope that it can be better. Like it can get better.
Through all of this and through your childhood, do you remember having a strong connection to yourself? Like, did you feel like, I like who I am? Like, even though I'm going through this shit, like, I know that I'm capable.
About yourself? Yeah.
No, I didn't actually, because I didn't, when you're in a group home, foster home, moving from this shelter to this boys ranch to this, different counselors, stranger care, different schools, different, like, you can't establish friends, and that was at an age of like 8 to 14, 18, 15. So that's like a real developmental time where, I had no sense of community. So when I came home, I had to do a lot of self-discovery. I had to go spend a lot of time at my grandma's house. I had to spend a lot of time in the streets learning how the world was moving. It was more of just like an explorative experience where I was just trying to learn who I was and all that. But celebrity culture was my escapism. So like Prince, him and Michael Jackson, I was just into them to where I wanted to be like them. Maybe not the... Shout out to them. They're both dead. I'm going to leave them alone. They're both icons, but like I love them,
Stay there.
But I'll stay right there.
Yes.
I could look at a Queen Latifah or a living single or you and watch people living a life that where I come from, it was none of that, you know? So yeah, I didn't really know who I was, but you know, you figure out along the way.
Somebody was talking about trauma, and they were saying that whether you've been through sexual abuse or physical abuse or any traumatic instance, the greatest sadness within those events is that it actually detaches the person from themselves. So it's not that the sexual abuse was like so horrific, although it was, but it's like the really terrible thing about that incident was how much it detaches your own sense of self from yourself, and therefore you kind of become this shell. And I was just kind of putting that into perspective with my own trauma in my own life, because so much of what happened to me was that I would have an instance occur and it would make me lose my own spark and my own sense of self. So then I went through my life for so many years not being my own cheerleader, which is something that I really admire about Raven, because Raven's been through some shit, but it's like she still knew that she was great at the end of the day.
For many years, when my brother was murdered, for 10 years, I was a empty walking shell, but also hurting everything along the way, because I want everybody to feel what I was feeling. Like I really fuck what you're going through, fuck whatever is going on. I didn't entertain it. So years later, I did a party. Whitney Houston, I invited her. She came. She sang. She died the next day.
Oh my gosh!
Like unexpectedly, just died the next day. And a year later, we honored her, and Queen Latifah, who I met at 15. I said, "Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot for you to be here. You know, I'm just trying to figure out this entertainment thing." And I had some kids there I was mentoring from back home, and she said, "Well, I hope that you're doing for them what I did for you, because you have to pass it on." So that always stuck with me. So trying to clean up my mess and figure out how to get on track and not to be this shell anymore, because it is easy and it's reckless to take pain that people inflict on you and pass it on.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
So easy.
The hard part is, okay, I drink a little too much. I'm just going to stop. Now, the challenge for me is, I want to see, can I make myself stop? So I just stopped. There was no AA group. I just stopped. But now it's more of a challenge for me to be the best that I can be. So that way, when I do leave, there are people that can go, oh man, you know.
But that's a conscious choice.
Oh, for sure.
That's consciousness.
For sure.
That's a higher being talking through you.
Yeah.
That's your higher self saying, listen, you're going to go through this bullshit.
Yeah.
But if you can hear me, and if you are going to listen, I will bring you above the cream of the crop, and you will succeed.
Perseverance.
And not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
And real perseverance and real vision, even if you feel like you had blinders up, like you must have had something in you that was driving you, right? Like, how did you get from being a kid in foster care to now a man who has all this success underneath? Yeah, exactly.
And can talk shit about the Kardashians and not get
without fear.
Fuck them Kardashians. Okay, them motherfuckers ain't nobody. Here's the deal. I'm sick of them. I want them to go away. First of all, y'all done dated half the men I want. Then now you're raising up a new fleet of them.
Yeah. We talk about that all the time. So we're like, it's the royal family of
America. Which is even worse. It is
like how they're breeding and
how they're treated.
No. It is the royal family of America. They don't do anything. They just sit there in pomp and circumstance.
Yes.
They look good, and we look up to them, and we care about who they're dating.
But why?
Because of that ass.
It's that ass. Everybody doesn't need a fucking podcast. Everybody doesn't need a show. Everybody doesn't need a microphone. Everybody does not need a platform. Social media has made the Kardashians have made everybody to believe with no talent that they can turn on a mic and a camera and be talented.
I grew up in a time period where my parents told me, you have to know how to dance, sing, and act. Plain and simple. Shirley Temple is the base, and if you don't know how to do that, you can't. I had my first album at 5 in the studio, dancing, pirouettes, and all kinds of shit. But now, I know how to dance, sing, and act, and each one is at a 25%. So you're not even reaching 100%. I was at 100% for each of those things by the time I was young. And it was just like, what is happening?
But the thing is just rolling up today, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do Raven-Symoné's podcast. Is that so, Raven? See, so your fame that you earn by way of the talent is going to last forever. It's going to hit multiple demographics. It's going to hit every part of the earth. This other shit, you're going to forget about it. I moved to New York for a year, and I had a moment for myself where I had forgotten what real beauty looked like, because I got caught up in this plastic fake shit, and then went to New York and saw some girl in Brooklyn with some Timberlands on, thick body, beautiful face. And I was like, yo, that is what beauty back home looks like. That is beauty. This standard that this and this does sometimes, it like fucks the minds of people.
So toxic.
And the thing, I can't even imagine being a kid growing up in it.
Even for me, I grew up in LA, and the beauty standard that I've been around my entire life, even before the Kardashians, was so intense and so just shoved down your throat, in your faces.
What's your hobby?
Somebody asked me, I don't have a hobby, I don't think. I mean, I don't have a hobby.
Are you a florist at heart?
I love, now, you know what? I don't have the patience for putting the flowers together though, but I do have the eye. The other thing I'm starting to love, like home decor.
Yes.
I would like, I interviewed Kathy Ireland a while ago, and she has, she has a home decor. Like,
Yes.
she's making money.
Oh,
Bank.
yeah.
She makes window sills or window
Bank.
panes. Like, she's making money.
Yeah. There's a lot of money there.
You know, it's interesting you
love
said that because that name is so nostalgic, and I feel like the universe/industry recognizes how long you've been in the industry and gives you certain things, like Jane Seymour jewelry line.
Well, Elizabeth Taylor had all the diamonds.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
once you're in the industry for a while, you get it. The industry's like, you got a couple more years.
Yeah.
I got lucky because I'm at the point I'm going to be hosting Scrabble on the CW in
congrats.
October, and I was telling wifey, I was like, I think it's because I reached that 30-year mark in the industry that the universe was like, here you go, you can have a game show now. And it's like, yes, I made it to old status. When is the
makes
Jason
sense.
Lee movie coming out?
Oh, literally I have a meeting today about it, because once I wrote the book right before COVID, because I keep running to fans who say, well, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? And I'm like, yo, I literally lived through all this shit. Like, how do you watch your brother die and come back? How do you get shot and not walk around with that trauma? I put it in a book, and it was more of like a gift to people. And then people would read it, and then I would see like coming out stories online or this or that. And I'm like, man, you should turn this into a movie. So now we are actually turning into a series.
Good.
A series or a movie?
Series.
Oh.
I think we're talking. I mean, I think maybe like start with a 27-minute short, get it out there.
Well, if you need a director, I'm here.
And if you need a white girl just to like be
My
in
mama
it,
was white.
I could be your mama.
Oh, my mama.
I could be one iteration of your mama
Oh, you gonna have to.
in a flash. I can be real crazy.
Can you? Oh, she was crazy.
as a
I can be
Leo,
real
I
crazy.
can attest that she can be real
Hey,
crazy.
we are great at what we do. If you're
You
gonna
know
be
what?
crazy, you gotta be real fucking crazy.
I have to say that this has all made me very happy. I feel
Aw, see how she brought that around?
fulfilled.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done good work.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
I think we
feel
helped
like
some
should,
people.
We
Let's
should
toast.
toast.
Yes.
This is the toast.
Is this a frog?
Look at that ass.
Look at that
What is this?
Kardashian ass. Okay, today's toast goes to all the Leos. All the Leos out there. Because it's this one's birthday next week. It was my birthday the other week.
And as Sages, we hold y'all up.
thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a simple little toast, but it sure does make me happy. Jason, thank you so much
so
for
much
being
for this
here.
song.
Yeah, and I can't wait until you come on my show.
Yes.
I was
we're
actually
ready
sitting
for
here
it.
thinking while you guys were talking, I love how it starts off a little messy. Because I don't know all the Simba and anti-Kardashian jokes that were done on this show.
Like 6,000. So
Just can't wait to be king.
See, now Bob Iger, you want to save Disney? Book that.